live on the farm with the most progressive farmer you could find. So I went out and lived with Bob Dixon,
So you lived at the farmhouse?
who was a Baptist preacher and also a mail carrier and a farmer. And I lived, he had a son my age. I lived with them one summer.
Was it fun?
On the farm.
You had a good time?
Well, I farmed.
Bless you.
And, we grew tobacco and cotton.
Tobacco and cotton. Was that hard work?
Yeah.
Did that make you decide you wanted to be a farmer, or make you decide you didn't want to be a farmer?
Well, he was going to pay me what I was worth at the end of the summer. He paid me $20.
For the whole summer?
And I figured if I was any more than that, I better find me a college I could go to get an education.
Sure.
So that's when I found Auburn. I applied to Georgia Tech, had a co-op program. They worked mostly with the railroad, their students. But I couldn't get in Tech. And I found Auburn had a co-op. So I went to Auburn as a co-op student, and I worked in Savannah because Frances, my sister, got married and was living in Savannah, and her husband was an engineer on the railroad.
So you lived with them
And I
and went to
lived with
school?
them. They had extra room,
Oh,
so
okay.
I could have a say, and they had to be rent, so I could save my money to pay for college.
Did you have fun living in Savannah?
And I lived one summer there.
Oh,
And then he was engineer on the railroad, and a car stalled on a gasoline truck or something. Stalled on the railroad track. He was the engineer on the train, or he was burned to death.
that was Francis's husband?
Francis' husband, yeah,
Oh,
Bill Cawley. She was Francis Cawley then.
did they have kids?
They had two. Had Mary Frances and Shirley Ann. And they moved. She and the kids moved back to Patterson
Sure, to be with your family.
and lived with Daddy and Mom.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, that's pretty sad. So then did you
Then
leave
Mama
Savannah?
died, and Daddy remarried, and Frances left and moved to Jacksonville, remarried, had a son.
With her second husband?
Second husband.
I didn't know that your mom passed away and your dad remarried.
Yeah.
Was your mom pretty young?
Yeah, she was 50.
50? So the lady that your dad married, did she already have kids too?
She had two, yeah.
She had two.
Three.
Three.
2 sons and a daughter.
So then you had 2 stepbrothers and a
Yeah.
stepsister?
Yeah.
Do you still talk to them?
I haven't seen them in years.
No.
Never did know them, really.
Right. Because their last name wasn't Roddenberry.
Riggins.
Oh,
They were Riggins.
Riggins.
I know. One of them's name changed, the other I forgot about.
But you never lived with them,
No.
so you never really got to know.
No,
That
no.
makes sense, yeah.
And I had to sell the house. When Daddy died before she died, his second wife.
Right.
And I had to sell his house. I sold it to one of Bill Gates' superintendents who was living in Blackshear. Bill Gates in Jackson. Big contractor in Jackson. In fact, I think he practically built the football stadium at the University of Florida.
Oh.
He's a real University of Florida graduate and friend. And he's in Jackson, man. He's a contractor in Jackson, big contractor.
So after you left Savannah, where'd you go?
I left Savannah. I came to Jacksonville.
Chapel Hill.
Well, no. When I left, I was assigned in various places. When I left Puerto Rico, they sent me to Panama Canal Zone. Canal Zone, they sent me to Guatemala, and I was stationed in Guatemala. When I graduated from West Point.
How did you get to West Point? Didn't you say you were in a doctor's office?
I was working in Savannah.
You were working in Savannah.
And I was working as a co-op student, building Great Dane trailers in Savannah. I was a co-op student at Auburn. Worked 3 months, go to school 3 months. And one summer, I burned my eyes with the arc welding Great Dane trailers. And they sent me to the doctor's office. And at the doctor's office, I met this congressman, and he gave me an appointment to West Point.
Just while you were sitting there in the lobby?
Yeah, well, while I was there meeting with him, he started chatting, and I guess he liked the idea that I was working my way through college. And he said, why don't you go to one of the service academies? They'll pay you to go. I said, what's the service academy? He said, well, it's Annapolis, and it's West Point. Annapolis for the Navy and West Point for the Army. I'm a congressman from your district, and I have 2 appointments each year. When you get back to Auburn, if you pass the physical examination here at the doctor's office, when you get back to Auburn, you let me know, and I'll send you a letter authorizing you to go over to Fort Benning, Georgia, which is not far from Auburn, take a physical examination, and if you pass the physical examination there, I'll give you an appointment at West Point. That's how I got to West Point.
Now, was World War II going on at this time?
It had not yet started, but when it started, the Army, they were about to draft me, so I joined the Army, and the Army assigned me to West Point.
Okay.
So I spent World War II not fighting war in Africa and Italy and France and Germany or whatever. I spent World War II as a cadet at West Point. So I'm a veteran of World War II.
Were you prepared to go overseas? Is that what you were doing? Preparing to go?
I was at West Point as a cadet, studying to be a cadet. When I signed up and accepted an appointment to West Point, I agreed to serve 5 years as an officer once I graduated. Well, when I graduated in 1946, I received my pilot's wings in the Army Reserve. And a year later, the Army Reserve became the Army Transportation Corps, like the infantry and the artillery and the ground forces. So I was transferred to the Air Corps, Air Force.
And that became the Air Force?
That was the U.S. Air Force.
So you were one of the first pilots?
So I was one of the first pilots.
U.S. Air Force?
U.S. Air Force. And I flew in the Air Force for 8 years in various places.
What kind of planes did you fly?
A 4-engine C-54. It was a large transport, and 4-engine. I flew 8 years.
Did you ever crash one?
I did crash. I never crashed on the road. I crashed a C-47 I was flying when I was stationed in Guatemala City. We would fly down to the coast to get bananas. We'd swap them cigarettes for bananas. And we went down to the coast to the banana farm and landed in there in a banana field.
There was no runway?
There was no runway. It was just a dirt strip. And the strip had grown over with underbrush or grass or something. And in the takeoff, I hit one of those ditches and crashed the plane.
Did you get in trouble?
I didn't get in trouble. It's just this. I made me come back down to Panama to take a test. And I went down and took the test. They fined me $75 the colonel. Or fined me $50 the colonel 75 or something.
You got a $50 fine because you crashed the plane?
Yeah.
I don't think they do that anymore. I don't know how that works.
I don't know how that works. But anyway, I stayed in the Air Force.
When did you told me a story once here, I don't remember. You missed a runway. You were supposed to go to New York, but you ended up in New Jersey or something?
Yeah.
You were flying a plane at night and you couldn't find the airport?
Oh, that was...
What were you doing?
That was when I really got into flying school. They sent me first to Lakeland, Florida, along with about 50 of my classmates, to pilot training in the early airplanes.
Right.
And we flew there. And from there I was transferred to Newburgh, New York, which is right outside West Point, to take basic training in the T6, ET6. The plane we flew down in Florida was a small, about 100 horsepower engine. We went up to New York to a 600 horsepower engine.
Oh, wow. It's a big difference.
So I flew, when I flew at New York and graduated, I was a pilot. And 3 of my classmates that graduated at the same time with me were from Nicaragua. They had been appointed to West Point by President Roosevelt, and they graduated. We graduated. I was a pilot in the Air Force. They were Nicaraguans, so they went back home, and they were head of their government because their daddy was a dictator of Nicaragua.
You became friends with one of them, didn't you?
And he was assassinated. And my classmates became head of Nicaragua. And I would leave Guatemala City and fly over Nicaragua, going to Panama, where my headquarters was. And I would land in Managua, and he'd send his driver out, pick me up, take me back downtown. So my daddy built this building, my daddy built that building. His daddy was assassinated. Then he was assassinated.
Oh, no.
He offered me a job if I wanted to resign from the Air Force. I could be head of their Defense Department. But
what did Gladys say about that?
I didn't want to get in line. That assassination line. That's the way they re-elected their people. So I didn't.
But tell me about how you missed the airport in New York. What happened? You said it was at night.
Then when I back now. I was transferred from